means somebody's lonely. Company means there are two. 3 means the crowd and it's about to get loud. 4 means more than a few. 5 means to take a quick little break and get back to work when you're through. I just wanna mean something to you. Lightning means there'll be thunder. Sun means the sky will be blue. When the leaves are falling means that autumn is coming and the summer days are through. Snowflakes mean that it's winter. Yeah, the birds will tell you it's true. I just wanna mean something to you. Baby, what I mean.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Barista Files. Today is, I have no idea, Tuesday, April 26, 2016. Yep. I'm your host, Heather, also known as Boutros Babe on Ravelry, and Barista Files on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the shop at shop.highlandhandmades.com and this podcast at thefibaristafiles.com, and is also available on iTunes, YouTube, and Internet Archive. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you are returning, thanks. I don't even think it's been a week since I podcasted, and you're going to see that reflected in my knitting, but I've got a very exciting shop update happening tonight, and I wanted to get this podcast out to let you all know before it happens, so that when you watch this, you know that you can just pause and go over and check out the shop. If you are watching this after I've posted it, stop here and go look at the stuff, or keep playing but click over, open a new window, and go look at the stuff that's in the shop, because I've got some amazing stuff that I will get to in dye pots. Week in review, really short. It's gotten cold again. It was really lovely. It was in the 60s, 69 degrees last Sunday. It's awesome. It's like 41 degrees right now. I'm cold. My hands are freezing. It's cloudy and not warm, and I'm unhappy. I really would like spring to get here. I would like to be able to be outside without a hat and mittens on, but thus far that has not happened, except for that one day. Jackson, can you please not lick yourself while I'm recording? Thank you. I hate that sound. So Saturday was all right. It was in the high 50s, pretty windy. Not Saturday, sorry, Sunday. Paul and I decided to go to the property to ostensibly to work on it. The situation realistically is that our property lot was used as a tote road. And if you're unfamiliar with the term tote road, it's a logging term. It's where when you clear logs from the woods, they're generally pulled out and piled into one area. And then a street legal truck comes, loads up, and then takes them to the mill or the chipper yard or wherever they're going to go after that. So the tow road is where all of the trees are dragged. Shush, you don't need to be here. No, go away. Nobody wants to talk to you. And so there's a lot of slash on the property because it's where the trees were dragged and where if they needed to be cut to length to fit on the truck, that's what happened. So our property is full of slash, useless tree branches and twigs and chips and all of that. It's not normally a problem, except that Maine is incredibly dry, and we're under red flag warnings right now, which means you cannot burn, you cannot, there are no burning permits being issued, there's no brush fires happening, no, because we're under extreme fire danger because it is so dry here right now. The only other state that's under the same warning right now is New Mexico. That tells you just how dry we are. Searsport has, in fact, that's where our property is, Searsport has had several forest fires already. A road over, but it would not take much at all for our property to just go up like a match. And that worries both of us. It worries me less than it worries Paul. Paul likes to worry about stuff like that. But we just wanted to see if there was anything we could do to help reduce the danger. Short answer, there's really not. But we raked some stuff and piled some stuff and moved some rocks and did some things, and it was nice to be out on the property. It was a beautiful day to be down there. The Maine has a predominant wind direction, both in normal weather and when a storm is coming, the wind actually shifts, which is, I'm sure, the same where you guys are. But the way our property is positioned, we actually have a really nice windbreak. So we're able, it's open and wide so we can enjoy the sunshine, but we don't really get really stiff winds, which is nice, I have to say. I will probably be cursing that when the bugs come, but the bugs aren't here yet. We don't have any bugs yet because it has been hot enough and it really hasn't been wet enough. So maybe we'll skip bug season this year. That's probably not going to happen. But when it is windy out, it's nice. We took Jackson down and he got to chew on sticks and be in the way. That's what he does. But he had a good time. We all had a good time, and then we came home. That's really been it. I have been working on updates other than that, so that's coming. I did, because we were in the car, get some knitting done. Not much. Again, it's been less than a week, and I am highly unproductive as a knitter. I did put in a progress keeper. So this is how much of my sock I've knit since the last time you've seen it. This stitch marker progress keeper is an owl, and it's from my friend Knitting in Beantown, Vesper Street. She gave that to me at Spa. So thank you very much for that, my dear. And I have more. I have another one. Did I show you? No, I didn't show you because they weren't here yet. I have some more stitch progress keepers too, and I will put a progress keeper in this as soon as I'm done talking about it. I told you that I'm working on a stuffed heart pillow for the next design in the Penny Reed book series. So this is going to be a big giant heart. And last time I was probably down about where my pinkies are. I was down here. And I've actually completed the increases. And sorry for that string. And I'm about to work on the straight section of the heart. So you can see the pillow is going to be pretty good size. I want it to be able to cover a head, a face, because that's how the hearts are used in Penny's covers. So it's going to be stuffed and all that. So this is being knit out of, don't ask, I can tell you, Barocco Vintage Chunky, which is what, an acrylic wool blend. Acrylic 52%, wool 40%, nylon 8%. It doesn't have a color, it's just a red. And I'm knitting these, I think, on US 10s. I can't work on this very long because it hurts my wrists. Yeah, US 10, so that's that. This is just, it's not a progress keeper, it's just to tell me which is the front side, because that will become important later. That's pretty much all I've been knitting, excuse me. The heart pillow project is hanging out in my Bling Your String bag from Highlands on the Fly 2014. And the sock is hanging out in my 2015 Highlands on the Fly bag, which my husband Paul made. Spinning. I did take my bobbin off to show you what I've been spinning. And I'm going to put the autofocus on so that hopefully this will focus so that you can see it. I do not know if it will focus or not. We can try. And it's probably not going to focus, because if it were going to, it would have by now maybe. I'll just hold it back a little bit. This, there it goes. This is not actually green. It's just reflecting off of the screen. This is Camelin Silk. I don't remember the percentage. Is it a 50-50 blend? I'm spinning it very fine. And it's slow going, but I really am enjoying it. It's very smooth and drafts really, really easily. So I'm finding that I'm having to treadle a lot. And I had to really reduce my tension because it was just flying right out of my hand, and it kept going on to winding itself on the bobbin. So that's just, I really work on like a little bit of that when Paul's cooking dinner, or when like I'm not tired enough to go to bed, so I'll just do that and sort of bring myself down and get ready for, sleeping. I also have to keep my dog away from it because it's so fine, the fibers stick to his nose. So when he sniffs it, he like horks in all this Camelin Silk, and that's not good for him. So that's that. Real quick bullet journal update. Nothing major has changed. I don't have a new month to show you, except this is my tracker page. And this is where my dailies live. You can see current week that I'm operating on. I'm still doing just one day at a time, and then this is all the stuff that I do that's not on my to-do list. But I added this clear page. It's just a page of printer paper that I pinned in. I found this is April 4th through the 10th underneath here, and I was tired of looking at this busy page of a week that I'd already lived. And since I go back to the tracker all month long, it was really getting me down. So I just trimmed a piece of printer paper to match and safety pinned it on, and all of my weeks that I've already used up are in here. So it just says dailies. I'm not going to tear them out because I may need to reference them later, but I don't really want to. I just didn't want to look at the page anymore. So that's the change that I made. I still really enjoy this notebook. It's the perfect size for me. It lays flat for me, and I'm able to get that week done without any problem. I don't put the weekend days on there just because my weekends don't have a schedule, and sometimes I take a day off here and there, and sometimes we travel to do things like we did last Sunday. But the week itself is really nice, and I'm finding that's very productive. I guess you could call that processes, which is where we are apparently at. Another process I wanted to tell you about is this Firefox extension called Leech Block. Now, I don't know how many of you use Firefox. I prefer Firefox to any of the other web browsers. I've always used Firefox since ever. And I have my internet set up exactly how I wanted. I have all of my bookmarks done perfectly across the toolbar. Like, everything is set up perfectly. But what I found is that, especially if I'm procrastinating doing something in my job, I tend to spend more time on social media than I probably should. Now, social media is a huge part of my business, and much of that time I am working or networking, but some of it's just watching videos about dog rescues and things like that. So I installed a free extension called Leech Block, and what Leech Block does is it sets up times for you to get locked out of particular sites. Specifically, I'm locking myself out of Facebook, Twitter, Plurk, Ravelry, Pinterest. I think those are the big five. From 9 to noon and from 1 to 4. So there's 6 hours in my day that I cannot get on those sites. Now, I still can get it on my phone, but I don't generally stand at my phone and check it. I will check. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. I check Instagram and Facebook when I'm in the bathroom and when I'm waiting for something else to happen, like I'm waiting for a dye tub to fill with water, or, just quick little bits. My phone is not the time suck that the internet is. So, and I blocked it both on my big computer, this one here in the living room where I record, as well as, and this is the computer I use for shop updates and stuff, as well as my office laptop, which is where I print packing labels and stuff like that. I can still get to PayPal, I can still get to my email, I can do all of those business things, but the social media aspect is stopped. And I will find, for example, when I'm scanning yarn, which is an activity that I loathe, I will scan 3 and then I'll go see what's happening on my Facebook posts. Has anyone liked the new Highland Handmades post? Has anybody responded? Like, what's that little red notification number mean? So now that I know that I can't go check it, I'm actually surprisingly more productive. I guess I didn't realize how much time I was wasting, but so far so good. It's worked really well, and you can get around it. You just have to click on the Leech Block, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to just stay away. And if there's something I absolutely need on Facebook or whatever, I can check it on my phone. So yeah, so that's processes. Growth. I don't really have anything in growth this week. No new contracts or whatnot. I did mail off my application to SPA for 2017. They do that quite early, and I got that mailed off. I just have to mail them the check, which I hope to do today. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be back at SPA next year. Yay! Since I did not get into Rhinebeck or Maryland, that means my next show is Fiber Frolic, which is June 4th and 5th in Windsor. I'm very excited about that. And then the next one I've scheduled after that is the retreat, which is in October, Highlands on the Fly. If you go to neoc.com, you can learn all about that, or visit the Highlands on the Fly Ravelry group. You should come to our retreat. It's amazing. Oh, and I forgot, I'm also doing the J.E. Riggin cruise, the knitting cruise this June, the week after Frolic, which is June 8th through the 11th, where we're going to go sail on a historic schooner and eat amazing foods and learn how to spin and do all kinds of awesome stuff like that. There's going to be a class on knitting with hand spun. It's going to be amazing. Amazing. Annie Maley, who's one of the owners of the schooner, J.E. Riggin, is actually just about to publish a new cookbook. And I have her other cookbook, and it's amazing. So I can't wait to get this one. Okay, y'all are here to see what I have in this little basket beside me. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and talk about dye pots this week. There's a shop update happening tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Today is the 26th, so that's a Tuesday. So if you're seeing this anytime after 6 p.m. Eastern on April 26th, go look in the shop. There's probably something in there. If you don't get it quick, there may not be a whole lot left. I'm cautiously optimistic with the amount of feedback I've had. Sorry for shaking the camera. It's been good stuff. So let's talk about the stripies first, because striped sock yarn, not only have I done before, but I've done this set before, although it's been about 13 months since I've done it. And you're familiar with this base. This is a striped maple sock yarn, which is 320 yards of 100% superwash merino. It's a heavy fingering, almost a sport weight. You can get a pair of socks out of these. I just knit a pair of socks out of this yarn and had plenty left over. You do need to go up a needle and down stitch counts, because it almost dresses out it like a sport. So this is a geek-inspired set, which means all of the yarns are inspired by something in the geek fandom world, and all of the colors have colorway names that are appropriate. Now, I have my paper here. I spent hours searching for this paper. These are my dye notes for this set, and without my dye notes, I can't repeat anything. So I'm going to read them to you, the name and the colorway names. I'm not going to tell you what the colors are. They're all in the shop in preview mode right now. So if you go to shop.highlandhandmades.com, you can play along at home if you like. So the first one is called Companions Are Cool. This is a Doctor Who inspired colorway, and all of the colors are except for the blue, all of the colors are the colors of the hair of Doctor Who's companions since the Eccleston reboot. So we have, and I included the blue of the TARDIS because there was an episode where the TARDIS was a lady and we met her and I enjoyed her. So the TARDIS blue is in there as a companion, even though she's technically not a companion. So the colors are TARDIS, Bad Wolf, The One Who Walked the Earth, The Most Important Woman, The Girl Who Waited, and The Impossible Girl. And each of these stripes is about 3 yards each. The next one is called Assemble. This is the Marvel-inspired colorway. And there's a funny story about Chris Evans tells from the filming of the movie where they were all at a nightclub and some guy was celebrating his birthday. And he just group texted all of the people who play the characters of the Avengers, and he just texted them Assemble. And all of them showed up and danced around this guy. So this guy who's dancing, minding his own business, suddenly turns around and he's near Captain America and Black Widow and all of them. And I just think that's a funny story, so I named it Assemble. These colors, it's a 4-color stripey. And it is Trust My Rage, I Don't Like Bullies, Millionaire Philanthropic Genius, and Smash. Did I forget one? No, that's all of them. Okay. And those stripes are approximately 4 yards each. Supernatural is another 4-color stripey. This is called Hunters, obviously inspired by I'm trying to get the light on this, Supernatural fandom. And the colors of Hunters are Hello Boys, Baby, which used to be, the last time I did this, it was called Kaz 2Y5, which was the license plate of the Impala, but they call her Baby, or call it Baby, so I'm changed that colorway to Baby. Hey, Ass Butt, and Balls. So those are those 4, which is obviously Crowley, Baby, Castiel and Bobby. Wow, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. It's really hard to pull colors for Sam and Dean. I like Sam and Dean, don't get me wrong. They're by far the reason I watch the show. Unfortunately, they're hard to pick a color for. So I went with things on their periphery instead. Let's see, what are the other even ones? The supernatural ones are 4 yards each as well. This one is a galaxy far, far away. Obviously, it is Star Wars inspired, and it is inspired specifically by the planets and moons from episodes 4 through 6. Kind of. The colors are Tatooine, Hoth, which is actually undyed, Dagobah, Endor, and Alderaan. And I realize we really don't see Alderaan because it gets blown to bits. Spoiler alert. But I needed a balanced color, so the blue is actually a blue and white variegated. I should mention here, since I'm talking about the depths of the color, all of these colors are semi-solid. They are not true solids. That's not how I dye. So they'll give you a semi-solid effect. And you can look on the Highland Handmades yarn page on Ravelry and go to striped maple sock and see how these sorts of colors knit up. What's next? Cowabunga. This is obviously a Ninja Turtle inspired colorway. And somewhat prosaically, Raphael red, Donatello purple, Michelangelo orange, Leonardo blue, Turtle Power green, and Shredder silver. Now these ones are about 3 yards each, but these skeins are discounted because for some reason something happened and the gray got hit with quite a bit of both red and green. So the silver is not separate. And I'm going to show this to you. You can see that's actually supposed to be silver. And you can see up here there's some silver that's not affected, but there are these large sections that have been affected by, what's the word of something? Adjacent colors. So I've discounted those 2 skeins. If that's something that bothers you, don't get them because it will bother you. Then I have 2 skeins that have uneven stripe distances. If you like even balanced stripes, you're not going to want these 2 because they are different. This one is the Harry Potter inspired colorway. It's called Witchcraft and Wizardry. And it has 2 4-yard stripes and 4 2-yard stripes. So it goes 4, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. So that as you knit up the 6 colors, you'll see there are 2 wide stripes and 2 narrow stripes. These, and you'll have to forgive me on the pronunciation, I am not Hermione and I don't always get it right. This is Avada Kedavra, Wingardium Leviosa, Aparicium, Expecto Patronum, Furnunculus, and Incendio, which is a blend of curses, spells, and potions, all from the books. Because I don't believe they use Furnunculus or Aparicium in the movies. Okay, sorry, phone call. This last one is inspired by the Cornetto trilogy, which is the 3 movies by Edgar Wright who star and that stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, which are the trifecta of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. So each of the 3 movie colors, so there's red, you've got red on you, I think is what it's called. Let me look. You've got red on you, policeman officer, and the blanks. So there's the red, the black, and the blue. And those are each 5 yards. And then in between are 2-yard narrow strips of this gold. Fried gold is the name of the colorway, which is like a beer color because beer plays throughout. So it's fried gold, you've got red on you, fried gold, policeman officer, fried gold, the blanks, fried, no, like that. So it's a 6 striper, but it's 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2. If that makes sense. I don't know where to put that one. Okay. Now, the stuff that I'm going to show you is brand new. It is a brand new base offered by my supplier, and it is magnificent. And I cannot wait to show you these. I just bought 1 cone to play around with to see if I liked it because it does me no good if I order a whole bunch of them, decide I don't like the base, or it's, doesn't take dye well, or it's splitty or whatever. This is the new base called Ironwood Sock. It's a 400-yard skein of fingering weight yarn that is 92% superwash merino and 8% silver lurex. And the silver lurex is sparkle. And it's put into, it's a long extruded fiber. So it's a continuous fiber that is wound into 2 of the plies. So it happens at a regular interval. And it's because it's plied in there, there's not a lot of pieces sticking out. Very occasionally, you'll get one little piece where the filament, like right here, this little filament is sticking out a little bit. But for the most part, it's very, you can tell there's a lot of sparkle in it, but it's very well behaved. I am in love. I want to tell you that these yarns are very drapey. This is 100% superwash merino. This is 98% superwash merino. You can tell the difference that this one just doesn't want to stand up. That's how you can tell that it just doesn't have the same amount of drape. Oh, I just lost another skein. So each of these I dyed, the cones are 2 pounds, so I got 8 skeins rather, from this one cone. So they're all single skein lots, and all of these are one of a kind. I just played around with the dyes to see what I could get, so they won't happen again. So if you want one, grab it, please. But know that I won't be able to dye a match to it, okay? And they're also named, all of these are named after constellations. I don't know if I'll do that always going forward, but somebody said that they looked kind of like stars in the night sky, and I agreed. So these are all named after constellations. So this is Vela. It's a wine red, almost a purple, and then it darkens a little bit at the bottom. This one is Fornax. It's a medium green and then overwashed with chocolate brown. So it looks almost black. This one is Cassiopeia or Cassiopeia. It's not quite as bright as that, but it is quite bright. It starts with a light pink, goes to hot pink, and then deepens into this sort of raspberry color. This one is Lynx. Lime into a medium green or almost a tealy green, and that darkens as it goes down through. These are all semi-solid to variegated to tonal. They are not gradients, and they do not progress through the skein. They're in 2-yard skeins, so you'll go from, for example, this lime green through into the dark and then back to the lime green every 2 yards. So it knits up as a variegated. I just want to be clear about that. This one is Orion. It's a gray progressive, so it starts with this pale gray and then slowly darkens down the skein. And you can see that the sparkle definitely pops more down here than it does up here. So as going forward, most of these will be dyed in darker colors to take advantage of the sparkle. This one is Crux. It's a brick red. This is probably the most, this one and Vela are probably the most semi-solid of the ones that I dyed. It's a little bit faded up here, but then deepens down into a nice dark brick red. Ara, pale lilac, lavender, violet. And then the last one is Andromeda, which starts with a bright pop of teal blue here, and then darkens into a royal blue, and then down into midnight. This one's probably my favorite. And of course, because of my lighting, hard to see. Look at all that sparkle though. For real, I'm in love. Really enjoy this. This feels very nice. It's plied a lot like Volmise is, if you're familiar with Volmise, and that there's a lot of little plies. It's not just the standard 3-ply, 4-ply. I mean, it says it's 4 plies, but when you look at it, you can see that it's made up of a complex array of singles that are all twisted in the same direction, as well as the silver lurex, which is the same. So, all right, so those are all in the shop right now in preview mode, and it's 2:24 in the afternoon because I got a very long phone call. Sorry. That's what happens when your friends call. You talk to them. And so these are all in preview, and they'll go up at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is 4 hours off of 4 hours subtracted from Greenwich Mean Time. So sorry, Eastern European folks, you're going to have to stay up late or get up very, very early if you are in Australia. West Coasters, probably middle of your afternoon. So that's that. Now, I do have grabby hands happening, and I'm going to put a thread in my Ravelry group because I have a giveaway. So I bought from Owls on Dante's, and Owls on Dante's is a Canadian shop. Let me see. No, that's too much. I'm going to put the autofocus on again so you can see the site. Hang on one second. Autofocus. Owls on Dante's. So it's etsy.com/Canada/shop/Owls on Dante's, or etsy.com/ca/shop/owls, OWLS, on Dante's, DANTES. And Owls on Dante's is a stitch marker and progress keeper shop. My friend Leanne runs it. I met Leanne a couple of years ago at a Knit East, and I have we've been internet friends since then, and I saw her again this past September at the last Knit East. And I ordered a set of stitch markers and a progress keeper. Now, I don't know how many of you know, but my husband is of Scottish descent, and I have here, it's stitch markers, and it has, sorry guys, it is a Scotch thistle and a set of stitch markers. Now, one of the things I love about Leanne's stitch markers is that she uses closed rings. So unlike the rings like on a keychain that have those adjustable open and close clasps, these are solid. So you never have to worry about your yarn catching and splitting or anything like that. It doesn't happen. So that's the set of stitch markers, and then I'm going to turn autofocus back on. Hold it over my phone, maybe that'll work to help focus it. I have to close out the background stuff. So this is the progress keeper that I'm going to put on the, yeah, that pretty much works actually. So that's a octopus or a kraken that I'm going to put on the heart that I've been knitting, the heart pillow that I've been knitting. There we go. Let's see if that works. That's the thistle. Come on, do it. You're just not going to do it, are you? What a jerk. Anyway, sorry about that. So those are what I got. But because Leanne is amazing, she included this, and I'm not going to take it out of the bag. Hopefully it will focus. It is, look at that, a cute little wee owl with a set of stitch markers. And this is going to be a giveaway for one of you. Now I'm going to give you until the end of April, so it'll be drawn on May 1st. All you have to do to win is to go over to my Ravelry group and open the thread and tell me whether you have followed Owls on Dante's on Instagram. It's the same thing, Owls on Dante's. Or B, if you have favorited her shop. So those are the two things that you need to do to enter. Favorite her shop on Etsy or follow her on Instagram. When you have done one of those two things, come back to the thread and tell me, and make sure you tell me who you are that has, like, the name of you that has followed them. Like, for example, I'm Boutros Babe on my Etsy, so I would say Boutros Babe followed her on Etsy, or favorited her shop on Etsy, and then I would say Fiberista Files followed her on Instagram, just so that we can check, because if you didn't do it, you're not going to win. Okay? You have to actually do it. And I will check with Leanne to make sure that whoever says they did the thing. But you guys are pretty honest. I'm not super worried about that. I just have to say it. So yeah, definitely check out Owls on Dante's. The American dollar is still quite strong against the Canadian dollar, and I got this set and the stitch marker, including shipping, for like $13.50. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous good price. Her shipping is very inexpensive and very quick. Of course, she's just over the border in New Brunswick, so maybe where I'm in Maine, I got a little bit faster than you would if you were in California or someplace. But I was very impressed with the service. Her packaging is nice, and she's really a wonderful person. So definitely check out Owls on Dante's, and like I said, look for the group. If you have already followed them or liked them or favorited them, that's fine. You can still enter. Just tell me who you are, and we'll get that in. So that's the grabby hands. Now I believe I have gone through everything that I needed to today. I need to quickly say goodbye to you guys so that I can cut this and edit it and get it uploaded so that those of you who are watching can see it in real time and hopefully snag some wonderful yarn. So until next time, guys, happy spinning and knitting, and thanks for tuning in.
Baby, what I mean to say is that I think about you in the most romantic of ways, and I'm hoping you'll be open to discussing us and nothing in between. Baby, what I mean is that I love you more than any other I've seen. If you couldn't tell, well, I hope you're quite keen on it. Like a rhyme loves a song, that like a movie loves a screen. That's what I wanna mean.